Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how are you today? um, okay, so this, all right, we heard about this, I think, okay, how Putin rejected the meeting with Biden. Well, we all knew that would happen. I mean, you can't call someone a name and then just automatically expect, let's have a meeting, let's have coffee together. No, it doesn't work that way. Okay, so now Putin put they painted like invasion stripes, okay, on the military vehicles, and reports of nuclear munitions begin a move into Crimea. Okay, so, and then at the end of this video, I'm not just going to put pictures, okay? There's a video also that I found, and I know a lot of people don't like MSM, all right? I understand that. I'm a little leery about it too. But when I saw this, because actually it was my dad that brought it to my attention, and he said, Gyps, you really got to watch this. And I said, what is it? And he said, it's on Tucker. And I said, oh, Dad, and he's like, I know. He said, but you got to listen to it. If you remember who Tulsi Gabbard is, she actually ran for president, what was it, back in 2016? Or was it? No. Yeah. Or was it early? I don't remember now. It's terrible. But she ran on the Democratic side, and she's military vet. She ran out of Hawaii, I believe it was. But she's like extremely intelligent, and I actually agree with her on this. Okay, so I'm going to put that at the end of this video along with some pictures, but you really just, okay, just listen. All right, seriously. Okay, so Putin has rejected the suggestion, all right, of a meeting between himself and Biden, okay? But we knew that would happen, okay? We knew it, and it's just not going to happen. So no meeting is going to take place regarding the future of Ukraine or any other issue. Okay, so it is what it is, right? The proposed summit offered to Russian President Putin by his American counterpart, our President Biden, won't go ahead in the near future, the Kremlin has said. It comes amid speculation that the new U.S. sanctions on Moscow are imminent. According to leaked details in mass media publications, the Biden administration has, as soon as today, will sanction, 12 Russian individuals, including government and intel individuals, and 20 entities in response to what the USA calls the SolarWinds hack. We, I think, talked about this the other day. I believe we did, but remind me if we didn't, because we talk about so much on this channel. It's crazy. And get this, the election interference. I know I shouldn't touch on that, but it is what it is, right? This from the very people who literally, S-T-O-L-E, okay, the election through, I'm not even going to say it because you already know where I'm going. Okay. As well as 10 Russian officials will be expelled from the U.S. This happened. We know it happened. So this is not like it's new news, right on? So once again, while talking de-escalation, it is the U.S. raising the stakes here. Speaking to reporters on Thursday morning, which was last Thursday, okay, it's now Tuesday. I know, I'm running behind, but I took the day off. What do you want? Putin's spokesman, Dmitry Peskov, said that the White House's invitation to meet in a third country in the coming months would not be possible to organize, at least in the short term. When asked whether the talks were likely to go ahead within that time frame, Peskov said, no, a bilateral meeting, of course, cannot be quickly organized. And he added that the issue is still under analysis and that Moscow has not yet finished discussing its mooted involvement in an upcoming multilateral climate summit scheduled for next week. At the same time, the Kremlin official acknowledged that reports in Western media, which would be us, suggesting Washington is preparing to unveil a new package of sanctions against Russia's national debt. So we're going to talk about their debt. Why don't we focus on ours? But I'll shut up now. As well as potentially expelling senior diplomats were unhelpful. It is clear there is no smoke without fire, he said. But for now, we will not be commenting on newspaper reports. We will be waiting to see if any specific decisions were announced officially. Yeah, please. All right. So the military vehicles were altered suddenly. Within the past 24 hours, as of the writing of this, but as of right now, it's been a few days. It's become apparent that all Russian military vehicles, along with the Ukraine border, had gotten an unusual paint modification. A large white stripe on the front and top of each vehicle. And I'll put the pictures at the end of this video, okay? It took the younger military analyst by surprise, and they didn't quite understand why this was being done. When they consulted with older, more experienced intelligence assets, most of whom were like long retired, they got their answer, and they said that these were called invasion stripes. Nice. It is a modification that was used by former Soviet Union if and when they may have to go into battle with an enemy who was using the same military vehicles. By painting the large white stripes, it differentiates the Russian from the enemy vehicle, thereby avoiding friendly fire. So that makes sense. To most thinking people, this is the surest sign yet that the massed Russian troops are, in fact, going to be ordered to invade the Ukraine to put a stop to its Nazi-esque government and to protect the Russian-speaking people in Luhansk and Donetsk from continuing the attacks by the Ukrainian army. Now, meanwhile, the Ukrainian army claims that in addition to its at least 87,000 Russian troops, there are now also a total of 330 warplanes, as well as 240 helicopters deployed inside Russia near the Ukrainian border. And not just that, like I said in a previous video, they set up like a hospital barracks type-ish thing as well, okay, on the border there too of Ukraine as well. Chief of the Defense Ministry's main intelligence, or just put it, if you wanted to look this up, GUR and then MO. Okay, this name, Kyrylo, Kyrylo, and then the last name is Budanov, Budanov, said this morning, "We expect that Russia will beef up their military grouping on our borders to a total of 56 battalion tactical groups totaling 110,000 troops. That will be completed on April 20th. So, a few more days, unfortunately. Now, nuclear weapon movements. Ukraine's defense minister has claimed Russia is preparing to move nuclear weapons to Crimea. Andriy, Andrii, Taran, claimed Russia could attack his country in order to ensure ongoing water supplies for the Crimea Peninsula. Mr. Taran, speaking prior to an emergency NATO meeting with allied defense and foreign ministers yesterday, also said he was unable to rule out a possibility of Russian forces in Crimea undertaking substantive military provocations this year. He told the European Parliament's subcommittee on defense, Crimea's infrastructure is being prepared for potentially storing nuclear weapons. The very presence of nuclear munitions in the peninsula may spark a whole array of complex political, legal, and moral problems. Mr. Taran was able to offer no evidence to back up his allegations. So, that's that. But, you know, I'm just going to put this video and then a few pictures, and then you come up with your own conclusion. You do your own research, and then that's it. And then we'll discuss this, okay? I love you. I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe, stay positive, keep prepping, and as always, fearless. Bye.
Well, we've been arguing about pronouns here in the United States and wondering why 2x4s now cost $9 a piece. There's real drama unfolding in Europe. Tensions between Ukraine and Russia are the highest they have been in a very long time. And we get some sense that there are political elements, mostly in the Democratic Party, not exclusively though, who would like to see a war in Europe. What is this, and how concerned should we be about it? Tulsi Gabbard has paid a lot of attention to this. She's a former member of Congress from the state of Hawaii. We're happy to have her on tonight. Congresswoman, thanks so much for coming on. So is this conflict moving toward war, and are there leaders in this country who would like to see that, do you think?
It is moving in a very dangerous direction, and the question for the American people is, are we willing to go to war with Russia on behalf of Ukraine? And we need to understand that such a war would come at a cost beyond anything that we can really imagine. Because this is not a war that is just, okay, this is going to be something that's happening to someone else, somewhere else on the other side of the world. No, this is something that will directly impact me and you, Tucker, every single one of your viewers, and all of our loved ones. And this is a war that is not a game. It's a war in which there are no winners, because you've got, thousands of nuclear weapons that the United States has aimed towards Russia. Russia has thousands of nuclear weapons aimed towards us that could hit any town or city in America in less than 30 minutes and exact a cost upon every one of us that would result in excruciating death and suffering beyond comprehension. Hundreds of millions of people dying and suffering, seeing their flesh being burned from their bones. This is something that you can't really even imagine, and it's a cost that we will all pay.
Why in the world would we ever contemplate going to war with Russia, honestly?
It is one that we should not do for those very reasons.
Yeah.
If you look at the impacts of what a nuclear war brings, it really brings about the end of the world as we know it. And our leaders should understand this consequence and take it seriously. And this is why President Biden, instead of continuing to escalate tensions and continuing this new Cold War between the United States and Russia, he needs to de-escalate these tensions, kind of, take the heat out of it and actually focus on bringing an end to this new Cold War. Because if he doesn't, then it's not a question of if we go to war with Russia, if this war ends up with a nuclear holocaust. It really is then just a question of when. And if we continue down this path that we are on, it's something that could happen a lot sooner than any of us think.
I'm just amazed by the magnitude of the stories that all of us are missing, including those of us who are paid to follow this stuff, and especially this story. And so I appreciate how you so crisply and wisely assessed that. It's terrifying. Thank you. Tulsi Gabbard.